Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Business Podcast, your source for all things business. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special episode. So I have Tenita Johnson back on the line, and she's CEO and founder over at So It Is Written. And we're also announcing the release of the recent book that Tenita participated in, so our latest edition of Real Estate Vol.2. So Tenita, we got a lot to talk about. First off, just welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much, Adam. I am so excited about this book release. I cannot wait to do a book party launch in Detroit for this book. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. I can't wait to have an excuse to come back to my hometown.
Right.
I'm so pumped for that one. I'm like, can all this pandemic, all these other things just end already so we can do our books? We love it.
Yeah. It's going to be great. Hey, summertime. Summertime is a good time for you to come back, Adam.
Oh, man. So first off, congratulations on being selected for the book. I mean, I really appreciate it. And your work, when you proposed your topic, so enhancing your brand as a real estate professional, I mean, it's a big deal. So we know that, branding, we know writing, we know our social media presence. We know these are all really important things for not only business, for all business owners, but real estate professionals especially. So I want to go into your chapter, but I don't want to assume that our new listeners caught the first episode that we did together. So let's just start off with a little background on what you're doing over at So It Is Written.
Absolutely. So I call myself a creative suite of services. So It Is Written offers writing, editorial, publishing, even some graphic design as it relates to branding, marketing, if you're an author, speaker, entrepreneur, anything from books and pamphlets to journals and setting up your platform as a speaker and as an entrepreneur, helping you with your website content, helping you with your blog posts, helping you with your social media posts. Basically, anything that has to do with content, we can help you.
Yeah, that's great. And we've definitely been leveraging you ever since we met. I mean, you've been a great resource for us, as I know you are for your other clients. Let's jump into your chapter though. So, enhancing your brand as a real estate professional. So first off, what was the inspiration for this?
So the inspiration for this, actually, Adam, is because I am a part of the Rochester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And I'm actually an ambassador for the chamber, and I sit around a lot of real estate professionals, whether they are financial advisors for real estate professionals, whether they are real estate investors, other real estate professionals. I'm sitting with them all the time, and a lot of them I noticed didn't have the key basic things in place. They're really good at what they do in the real estate industry specifically, but if you're going to market to the masses, there were some things that they just didn't have. So that was my inspiration for that. I use an example of one of my clients, Erica. She's a real estate investor in the Rochester area, and I didn't use her last name to protect her privacy. But, yeah, she was one of my clients who I helped totally transform her brand, particularly online, because a lot of people aren't well-known in their community. Like, she's well-known in Rochester. She's born and raised in Rochester, went to Rochester High School. However, if you're going to reach outside of Rochester, how will people find you? How will people find you in Troy, in Detroit, in Lansing, in Flint? And she wanted to expand her brand, and so I kind of worked with her to make that happen.
So there's a section in your writing that says, wow your customer with the website. I mean, I saw that, and I'm like, for some of the people listening, it may sound basic, but I'm going to pick on myself for a moment. So we just did a completely, because I don't like picking on other people. I like to pick on myself. So we just did a whole rebrand on our website. And I mean, we're a media brand, and, we've been out now, and we're going on 3 or 4 years now. And, first, so that means we just did this in January. So that puts us at like over 2, almost 3 years with a terrible website. And our site, it's okay now, but it wasn't okay now. Now that we have the new numbers, though, no, just so people have a feel, like, the stuff's serious. Like, now that we have the new numbers, I mean, I'll give you just one key metric, and not to get too technical, but our bounce rate was, so it just means how long people are actually on your site for a small amount of time. Our bounce rate was like at, I don't know, 72% or something like that on our last site. On our new site, it's at like 0.13 or something, or 0.20, something like that. So, I mean, people were going to our other site and they were just moving on. We launched a new site, we created a new site, and we create, and it's the same content, just to be clear. So it's still a podcast, it's the same content, and what happened, it's like the site was not, it was just bad. So what are some tips that you would give to some real estate agents out there that still haven't really considered wowing their customers with their site?
So the number one thing I tell people to do is whatever problem you solve for your customers, for your clients, that has to be on the forefront. That has to be on that main page, that landing page. As soon as the website opens, what do they see? Whether it's in video form, whether it's in content form, a lot of people are more apt to click on a video than they are to read 4 or 5 paragraphs on a home page. So I tell people, what do you do? Who do you do it for? What problem do you solve? They should know that right away to see if they want to click anywhere else on your website. In addition to that, testimonials are key in this industry. Like, you can tell me you're great, but when someone else tells me you're great and I know them personally, but I don't know you yet, that holds more weight for me than if I went to your website and you told me you were great. So we know word of mouth and referrals are still the highest form of compliment, for me anyway. I run a business, and mine is always been ran by word of mouth mostly and referrals. And I can tell you that when people speak well of you, by the time people get to your website, 9 times out of 10, they've already made their mind up. But if you have some testimonials that can wow them from the very beginning, even if you put 1 or 2 testimonials from clients, video testimonials from clients on your homepage, that could make the difference of them going to the next website or staying on yours and actually filling out the contact form.
Man, that's well said. So let's get into a little bit more of what you have here. We're not going to have time for all the listeners to go into all of things, but because we also want to go out and buy that book, so there you go. But let's get into I know you help a lot of clients with writing books. So how does that play into a strategy?
So the biggest thing is, Adam, the first thing I tell people when they need a book is, they're like, but I'm not a writer. Good. I'm glad you're not a writer. However, you still need books. You don't need to be a writer, quote unquote, air quotes. You don't need to be a writer to write a book. I tell people, you have the content. It just may not be in book form right now. If you're a speaker, 9 times out of 10, people have recorded you speaking before. Just like you, Adam, you record podcasts day in and day out. So eventually you could take these podcast interviews and just say interviews with multimillionaires across the United States, and it's nothing but a download of all of your podcasts in written form. And people don't think of it like that, but a lot of times the information that we're offering on a stage, or we're speaking to an audience, or even if it's in an audio book, that content needs to be released to the world in multiple ways. So when I say a best-selling book, the e-book, the print book, the audio book, all of those are streams of income where your content should be available.
That's funny that you say that like if you speak that you already have it. And then I'll take it another level deeper. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but my first book I wrote on a train when I was on a speaking tour by speaking it into my phone. So I literally wrote it using a Dragon, whatever that is, that app I was paying or whatever. I was just telling stories into my phone on my headphones during like all this downtime I had on trains in between these cities in China, and literally when I got back, I then compiled it all, and then I hired professional editors to do what you do, and that's how the first book was done. So I did happen to have the intention of creating it, but for people out there that are like in their head about this stuff, I'm like, that's how I did my first book. Like, that's real straightforward.
Yeah, and Adam, I tell people, I'm like, you can write the book, like you said, just speaking into an app or speaking into your phone or getting someone even to transcribe it for you. You get it professionally edited, and you really haven't spent any time behind a computer technically writing anything because it's content that you've already had. So, Yeah.
I feel like
even
the one.
Facebook Live. I'm sorry, Adam. Even Facebook Lives. A lot of people right now are on Facebook Live. They're on Zoom. People are doing trainings all over the United States.
Wow, that's so
Zoom and
smart.
Facebook Live. Download that stuff, transcribe it, create a book, market it, and sell.
Wow, I love it. That's so smart. You're like, this is like a Facebook Live book. Wow, I'm sure somebody's done that. I've never heard of anybody using that audio, though, yet. That's so smart. I love it.
Facebook allows you to download the audio.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. I never made the connection of that because it's completely different content. Probably be pretty fun to read, too, huh? Because the way it, obviously, after it's edited and cleaned up a little bit, is different.
Yep.
Wow. So Tenita, that being said, I could talk to you about this all day. You know, when you and I get going on this stuff, you already know. But that being said, if somebody's listening and they want more information on So It Is Written, I mean, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So they can email me at info@soitiswritten.net, or they can visit the website, www.soitiswritten.net. They can also call 313-999-6942.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, Tenita, been great having you back on the show today. Congrats again, and it's been an honor to publish your work. So love your chapter. I think you're going to help a lot of people, a lot of real estate professionals out there that read this book, and other business owners that pick it up because they want to learn about real estate. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you had a lot of fun listening to this. Don't forget, go pick up that book. You'll see the link in the show notes. And also, don't forget to subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. And Tenita, thanks again for coming back on the show.